The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of lavender and gold. Shadows stretched long and gentle across the forest floor, weaving patterns that danced as the breeze stirred the leaves. The air was sweet with the scent of earth and wildflowers, a faint perfume that drifted lazily through the trees. Birds called softly in the distance, their songs fading as twilight settled in. Lila stepped carefully along a narrow path, her footsteps muffled by moss and fallen leaves. She paused for a moment, closing her eyes to feel the cool touch of the evening breeze against her skin. Her shoulders, tense from the weight of unseen burdens, sank just a little as she exhaled. She had walked far, hoping to leave her restless thoughts behind, but they lingered still, like echoes of a storm that had passed but left its rumble in the air. The forest seemed alive, yet calm. Branches swayed gently overhead, whispering secrets she couldn't quite hear. The quiet hum of nature surrounded her, and for the first time in days, she felt something stir within, a fragile hope that perhaps she would find peace here. Drawn deeper into the woods, Lila let the path guide her. She didn't know where it led, but the forest welcomed her, each step inviting her to let go. With every breath, the tension in her chest began to ease. She touched the bark of a nearby tree, its rough surface grounding her in the moment. And as the first stars began to blink through the canopy, Lila knew she had found a place where she could finally rest. A soft murmur caught her attention, carried by the breeze. It seemed to hum through the leaves, a gentle voice calling her closer. Lila followed the sound until she reached a clearing, where a weeping willow stood with its branches trailing like curtains of silk. The murmur grew clearer, forming words that felt more like thoughts than sounds. The willow welcomed her, its voice warm and soothing. Patience, it said, is the rhythm of the earth. It is the stillness between breaths and the quiet growth beneath the soil. Lila listened, her breathing slowing as the tree's words settled over her like a comforting blanket. She sat beneath the willow's branches, letting its whispers remind her that growth takes time and peace is often found in stillness. As she leaned back against its trunk, the whispers faded, leaving only the rustling leaves and her steady breath. The path beckoned her onward, and Lila rose, feeling lighter. Another voice called, this time deeper and steadier. She followed it to a towering oak tree, its branches stretching wide as if to shelter the entire forest. The oak's voice rumbled low and kind. Strength does not come from avoiding storms, it said, but from standing firm through them. It spoke of roots dug deep and branches that reached for the sky despite the winds. Lila closed her eyes, imagining herself as steady and grounded as the oak. She pressed her hand against its bark, drawing strength from its presence. The forest grew quieter, as if honoring the wisdom shared. But before Lila could leave, another voice called, a soft, melodic hum that led her toward a tall pine tree. The pine tree's voice was calm and melodic, like a song carried by the wind. Let go, it whispered. Let go of what no longer serves you, as I let go of my needles to make room for new growth. Its branches swayed gently, and Lila felt her heart respond to its rhythm. She knelt at the base of the pine, closing her eyes. With each breath, she imagined her worries falling away like pine needles, carried off by the wind. She let the tension in her body slip away, feeling lighter with every exhale. The pine hummed softly, as if affirming her release. Lila opened her eyes, the weight she had carried feeling distant and small. She ran her fingers over the tree's bark, quiet gratitude blooming within her. Rising to her feet, she took a moment to gaze up through the branches, where stars shimmered against the darkening sky. The forest seemed to breathe with her, each tree standing in quiet solidarity. She knew she was not alone. The trees had given her their lessons, patience, strength, and the freedom to let go. And now she carried their wisdom with her. The clearing grew still, and Lila lingered, feeling at peace in the hush of the night. With a final glance back at the pine, she turned toward the path that led deeper into the forest, her steps steady and light. As she walked, the forest's whispers softened, fading into a lullaby carried by the breeze. The rhythm of her breath matched the gentle sway of the trees, and with each step, she felt herself sinking into a deeper calm. Soon, she found a bed of moss beside a small stream. The water murmured softly, its voice blending with the rustle of leaves above. Lila lay down, the earth cradling her as the stars blinked overhead. The trees continued their song, a wordless melody that wrapped around her like a blanket. She closed her eyes, her breath slowing as she drifted towards sleep. In the stillness, she felt whole, connected to the earth, the trees, and the endless sky. And as dreams began to weave through her mind, the forest stood watch, its whispers fading gently into the night.